Oak, what's your shut the fuck up of the week?
Wow.
No,
You know, I've been trying to think of
It might be actually to his daughter this time.
It might be to my daughter. Actually, she gets a lot of shut the fuck up because she's like yells a lot for no reason.
I heard she terrorized Wellfleet.
She did. Yeah, she was tromping all over the back roads, and she was eating French fries, and she was splashing in the pond. It was she did some work in Wellfleet.
Not to mention like the terror of the toads.
Oh yeah, so she captured a family of toads and held them hostage, and was waving them in people's faces.
She was like fee, fi, fo, fum. She was like,
no, but she grabbed a toad out of a bucket and she like waved it at her mom, and her mom jumped like 3 feet in the air and screamed.
And she was like, "What?"
Wait, Amy's afraid of toads?
Well, I think it was just an unexpected development that Leah would reach into the bucket and snatch a toad out and wave it at her.
Leah just grabbed her purse full of toads and stormed off in the direction of Video Stuga.
She's like, "Fine.
She goes, I know my way around here.
I'll go rent a VHS player and watch a VHS tape."
You know, I feel like it's going to be really disappointing for Larry when we go to Wellfleet and he realizes Video Stuga hasn't been there in 20 years.
20 years. We should reopen it.
I'm imagining you and Leah being very like Mufasa and Simba, where Leah being like, "Dad, which land is ours?" And you're like, "Baby, everything past Video Stuga belongs to the Halls."
Have we talked about the VCRs you could rent at Video Stuga?
Yeah, that's the best part of Video Stuga, that you can walk out with a VCR and a tape.
That was the first.
It looked like a plastic briefcase with a handle on it. You're like either transporting a shit ton of money or you just rented a VCR.
Right. Or you're just watching Blank Check.
Exactly. Again.
How did he get so much stuff with just $1 million?
I mean, it's
you remember
like,
that movie?
It's one of the bad plot flaws. Like, he has like a house with like a water slide and slaves and everything. I'm like, you can't. No, that's.
You know when you have memories of things and you realize as an adult that was like a part that really shaped who you became. Yeah. I remember that it was the night before a citywide test. Because did you guys have those in Massachusetts where like you had standardized testing and it was like every spring you had fucking panic because you had to take like, it was basically like mini SATs.
Yeah, and I looked forward to them. Standardized testing is the only thing I've ever done well in my life.
Really?
Yep, I'm really good at standardized testing.
The night before the math one, and I've never been good at math, the night before the math one, I went to go see Blank Check, and I remember getting home like, which at that, it was like 9 o'clock at night, and I was like, oh my god, this is so late and I have a test tomorrow, this is horrible. And I've done the same thing for every important thing in my life. Like, I'm never prepared for anything. But that, like, I just think of Blank Check and how, like, irresponsible I was, like, going to the movies the night before the test and, like, not staying home and studying. And then that was all of high school, all of college, and all of my career.
I like, imagined you having, like, an epiphany during the test, being like, but 1 million divided by 150,000 plus a Maserati, that's impossible! And, like, all of a sudden you, like, understand the concept of math. There's no way you couldn't got all that stuff with $1 million.
You know what's funny? For my SATs, the first time I took the SATs, I had overslept for them. And so I fell asleep on my couch. My mom woke me up and she goes, "Don't you have SATs today?" And I was like, "Oh shit," in like 25 minutes. She had bought me a new sweater from Eddie Bauer. So in my high school, you know, it was it was a Catholic school, so we had to get dressed up. So it was a thing to wear a sweater over your like shirt and tie. But my mom bought me this bright yellow like knit, like cable knit sweater. It wasn't even like the kind that looks good over a shirt with tie. Because I literally fell asleep in my uniform. So she goes, "Wear this." So wear something like new to the test. And we're in the car and she hands me a roast beef sandwich that she made for me the night before that I didn't eat. So I'm literally hair fucked up, wearing a bright yellow sweater, eating a sandwich.
And I was like, old roast beef sandwich.
So awesome.
Yeah. This is not how someone prepares for the biggest test of their lives. Like, I should have gone to sleep early last night, woken up, taken a bath with some, like, salts, fucking had tea, half a grapefruit, like, brain food, I don't know. Instead, I'm like fucking half
Just a
asleep, eye
Mozart.
crispies in full effect, fucking big yellow sweater. And then when I went in, I took the test, whatever. And one of my friends afterwards was like, I have to tell you, your sweater was a huge distraction while we were all taking the test.
You're like, that doesn't matter to me. I fucking crushed it. Belly full of day-old roast beef. I can't believe your mom gave you an Eddie Bauer sweater. Are you guys like super wealthy? I remember in Wellfleet or on Cape Cod growing up, I thought like the biggest sign of wealth was when somebody had like an Eddie Bauer edition Ford Explorer. I was like,
those were cool.
whoa, those people must be rich.
No, those were cool. But Eddie Bauer stuff was like, no, I was the antithesis of rich in high school because everybody else was wearing like Brooks Brothers, and I was the one who would like fashion stuff that was like not really business casual as business casual. Like instead of wearing dress shoes, I would wear like fucking old Doc Martens and be like, what? They're leather.
I mean, if you could put it on layaway at Marshall's, then we would have it. But we would have it 7 months later.
Eventually.
Right. So we'd get our winter coats in like April.
But our winter coats would be fucking fly. Mine were always like
Totally.
neon with like glitter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, pluralize it. You know, it was one winter coat that you alternated.
that's true.
Bean had like a bedazzled like purple and yellow coat.
Oh,
with,
and
like,
I used to wear it with a pork pie
pork
hat.
pie hat.
So fucking cool.
It was like in living color, was at
Totally.
your face, ready to bust out some dance.
You're so crazy. I always used to go around singing that song too.
Wow, that is the Living Color song.
I know. Yeah, on Cape Cod, like the height of wealth was like non-outlet Gap clothes. I was like, I never got any of them. I got one like tank top.
For me, it was Champion sweatshirts.
Oh yeah.
And there were like, most of them were like $60, but there were some like rare ones that were like $70 or $80 or $90. And people used to like brag about how much they paid for their Champion sweatshirt. Like one kid had like a $99 Champion sweatshirt that was like, it was like a weird color that no one had ever seen with like a different colored like Champion logo. Then you had to have like the crisp turtleneck like underneath the Champion sweatshirt with your pants like perfectly pegged.
Totally.
And I had pants that were like 16 sizes too big for me because they were hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
They wouldn't peg right, so I glued them. Like so I had to like yank my feet out of them to get them out. And I looked like
to your ankle.
so big.
That's how I actually like did all my pants when I was like in my late 20s in New York. Remember that was like my main form, like fixing the hems of all my pants was like gluing them, and they would like get stuck to my leg.
You wish it was glue.
Glued, duct tape, or staples.
It was duct tape. I walked into the office. I met Liz in January of 2005, which is when I met you, Oak. And Liz looked so beautiful one day in the office. Like, 'cause she was like, she'd wear like hoodies or like Scullies or whatever to the office. And then one day she showed up wearing like a button-down shirt and like linen pants and stuff. I was like, wow, Liz, you look great.
Court date.
And she lifted her leg up onto the table and she goes, check this out. And she like flipped the hem on the bottom of her like linen pants, and there was duct tape.
They were
she was
literally linen.
There were linen pants in January that you were walking through fucking dirty slush with.
But the duct tape held.
Yeah.
It always does.
Speaking of fashion faux pas, you guys know in junior high school I was in a dance troupe, and we had to do Turn the Beat Around, and we had to we were like, different phases of the song called for different groups to come out at separate times, so the dance choreographer was like, you guys should all wear different colors, and my group had to wear white, and this was for our winter festival, and we had to wear like all white. So I told my mom, obviously the night before, hey mom, I have to wear like white pants tomorrow. And she's like, where are we going to find white pants for you? Like, it's winter. And I didn't even think about the fact that you can't buy white pants when it's not summer. Do you guys ever hear that store Conway?
No.
Nope.
Conway's like almost like a stationery store. It's like going to like Duane Reade. I didn't even know they had clothes there. So we went there and we found a pair of like big white Levi's that I swear to God, I still to this day cannot believe there was a pair of jeans in there that were too big for me, but they were still white jeans and they fucking served the purpose. And I fucking went out there and fucking kickball chained and pliered my heart out.
Sharded and sharded and sharded. That's all I can imagine. You sharding in your wet pants.
You guys, I have a confession to make.
Oh God.
And because of the Ashley Madison hack and leaks, I'm gonna have to confess this to you now before I'm blackmailed. I have committed podultery.
Ah!
I've appeared on another podcast.
This is not the way to tell us.
I did it.
In front of millions of people? You couldn't have told us this before we fucking went live?
Yeah.
Do I know the podcast?
You do.
Have I met the podcast?
It's Carl Polowitz's All My Friends Are Dads podcast. Is the inaugural episode. I was the first guest, and it was great. And I'm glad I did it. And we had a lot of fun, and it came out really good, and you guys should listen. So.
Was it something I did?
To you?
No, I just, I needed something else. It's not
Why
that
not
I don't love you.
Polish enough for you? You had to find someone with a Polish name?
Yeah, I couldn't spell it for you, but I
Wow,
can
you
say
guys
it.
are both assholes. I've never potted with anyone else. Both of you fucking go ahead and throw your pot at anyone who wants it.
I'm
That was my fling early on in the relationship. It was just something that needed to happen. So that
As a matter of fact, Nick actually was man enough to tell us, hey guys, I'm going to go pod in 2 weeks with a group of guys.
Yep.
We're like,
Yeah.
as long as we know.
Potted all over with a group of guys. Let you know in
Hopefully
advance.
until we fucking smelled Todd Polowitz's cologne on. The fucking I was like, what smells like pierogies in this pot?
Love Carl. Love Crazy Carl. That sounds fun. I'm definitely going to listen to it.
It was fun. You should listen to it. It's pretty short, and it's good, and we just talk about Leah the whole time. So.
Cool. All My Friends Are Dads. Sounds fun.
All My Friends Are Dads on SoundCloud. I tweeted out the link and then retweeted it from the Coming In Sideways.
Cool. He's immediately going to have 50 million more followers than me. Like,
yeah, I don't know if he's ready to handle the surge of listenership that he's going to get from being mentioned on the show.
Right. I mean, it's just like an immediate. It's like a sponsorship. It's like an immediate sponsorship.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, totally.
Camera pans to Jen sitting at her office desk.
Yeah. Pod?
What is SoundCloud?
I don't know my SoundCloud login.
SoundCloud.
Leah just heard plow and she fucking jumped out of her crib. She's like, where?
Leah pooped on the floor 4 times yesterday.
She's not wearing anything to catch it?
Well, she was just, sometimes you want to let a baby's butt air out a little bit, because they wear a diaper all the time, so you want to let them, just kind of toddle around. And she would do this move where she would pretend she's interested in something on the floor. She'd like, oh, a remote controller or a rake. Let me bend down and examine this. She'd just leave some logs, wherever she was, and then she'd toddle off like, oh, okay, I'm done looking at that thing.
She's just so gross for being so cute.
Part of me is comforted that someone else does that, and then that I'm 32 years older than her.
You're like, ooh, look at that rake. Oops.
Yeah.
Right.
You know when you realize someone has the same struggle as you, and you get kind of excited, but at the same time you are emphatic about calming them down and making them feel better about it, but inside you're like, yes, me too. That's how I felt. I'm like,
Schadenfreude.
We need to bring you in as a consultant to
literally
Leah about the future of floor pooping.
Yeah.
Do you have
That's
carpeting?
something she's going to... No.
No, she's not in the room.
Thank God for that.
This is on the hardwood.
Just brown stains all over the house. Just get a bunch of throw rugs. That's what we used to do at our house in Wellfleet.
Yeah.
Our dog would puke on the floor, and we wouldn't be able to get it on the carpet, so we'd put another rug on top of the puke stain on the carpet.
But the key thing is to use a scrap piece of the same carpet that you're putting it on top of that was discarded when the carpet was originally installed. You just keep a roll of that, and you just cut it out with some Fiskars, and you just slap it down.
Yeah, totally. Oh man, we were just so classy growing up in the world.
Well,
Liz, are you sitting in the corner of your bedroom? What is?
Yeah, kind of. All the parts of my bedroom are the corner. It's very small. I'm sitting currently wedged in between my bed and this shelf, which is behind me, and the corner is to the right. Yeah, over there. Yeah. And that metal thing is a piece of equipment from the bed that I never use. I need to put it on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a game we could play. It's
Wow.
called Let's Make Bean's Website.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's going to start with all of us going to lizhallcomedy.com.
Okay, excuse the typing because I know you hate when I type during our pod.
I will excuse it. You will get a pass for this. So we are looking at Bean's website, and we are going to come up with some copy for the website. This is a great pod. So
This has been on my to-do list for like 2 weeks, so I don't
I
understand
know.
why
We're
you
going
don't
to
trust
do
me
it
to
right
do
now.
it. I don't understand why you don't trust me to do it.
My feet are mad swole. You don't need more copy than that.
I
That's
kind of
Right?
like the stupid tweets.
I mean, I
Like, what
kind of
else
like
am I
it
gonna
too.
say?
the
Like,
kazoo.
what fucking commentary am I gonna come up with about my bullshit comedy career? Liz and tells jokes. She has done this at various places. You're welcome. Love, Liz.
Wait, can I ask a question? I love the photo. That's the top image, but the my feet are mad swole doesn't show well on it.
That's a good point. Should we put my feet are mad swole up at the top in the top left and put seriously who gives their child a kazoo? Like,
Yeah.
so we're gonna switch those two.
Yeah.
See, look, we're
That's
making
it.
websites.
Hey, what did you
Yay!
use to build this website?
What?
What did you use to build this website?
I used a static site builder called I can't remember the name of it.
You could have used Rebel Mouse. This looks like a Rebel Mouse site.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
is
tell
that
you.
what you guys do? I still have no idea what your company does. You're like
The other thing I would recommend is this Find Out More button. It just drops you down to the Contact Liz. You should just make that Contact Liz. That button.
But then what would I put in the contact Liz button?
And then when you click on that, it takes you down to the bottom.
Well, my original conception was that this section that above the contact Liz button would have some kind of blurb about Liz's comedy.
I think the blurb is just seriously who gives her child a kazoo.
Okay, so
Do you
we're
think I
put.
should? I don't know. I don't really feel like I need that much more copy than that.
I'm fine with it. Byron, what do you think? You're our
I think
digital
if you
marketing
could
wizard.
do it-
Like, what do we should we have a section? This middle section underneath the picture was going to be like the about.
I think that no one is going to read stuff.
No.
I think what you should do, if you guys have the time for it, I would make this top, and if the site allows for it, I would make this top thing a video. Like literally choose one of her videos so that when someone gets here, it says Liz Hall, my feet are mad swole, and then there's a play button so you can watch a video up here. And then I would actually use stills or video stills or images of her, because like the thing is, someone accessing this website. Here's what you need to know about video content. If you don't get someone's attention within the first 6 seconds of them hitting play, they're not going to continue watching the video. So what most people do is they'll create video listicles. So it's actually just either a listicle of GIFs from that video or video stills that they create memes with text from that video so that people can access it and kind of interact with it without having to plug in their headphones if they're at work. So I would recommend actually on this page putting a bunch of stills from her shows and then like some of her one-liners so that someone coming to it can see that really quickly and then share those, because then she could even share them on Instagram and Facebook
That's
and
what
stuff.
I need somebody to do that for me, listener, to go through and pick out, like, go through at least some of my videos and pick out the best, like, 5-second, like, lines of the, because it's like, you know, not, like 85% of those videos is just like not really anything, but there's like some stuff in there that's the funny parts.
Well, you know what we should also do, though, is next time you're at a show, literally take some staged photos of you with your microphone that are like lit really well, and then just have that be the backdrop and put text across the front that has some of your like shorter jokes.
Yeah.
And then we could all like share them on Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have to write shorter jokes. All my jokes are kind of long.
Yeah.
Like my punchline, like.
Like the image would literally just be a paragraph.
Yeah, it's like a paragraph, and it would be like.
eyelash poking out behind
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Byron, who should the audience be for this site? Because I was thinking like this is someone, you know, like an agent or a booking person or somebody who's just wants a quick like Where can I find you on the internet?
Yeah,
LizHallComedy.com.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm
but you have
thinking.
to remember that with this industry, the agent is looking for the same thing that the consumer would be. So it's not necessarily like B2B, B2C,
Right.
B to everybody. So that's the thing. It has to be something that the agent can look there and be like, oh, she is funny. And then there's, that contact us button. I think the best thing you did is have that upcoming schedule there. But how's that updated? Is it manually updated or is it like linked to Google Calendar or something?
It's manual right now. I
Just
keep
noticed that your favicon is the sun-made raisins.
Yeah, I know. That's the best part. That's my
attention to
favorite
detail, baby.
part.
I was just looking
I
at the
forgot
tab
that
that I have open, and I was like, "What the fuck do I have open here?"
Yeah,
And then I
yeah.
it was all comedy.
Yeah.
There's never been someone who's loved raisins quite like you.
No one in this world.
It's
love them so much.
like, what's that condition when you're held hostage and you come to like really love your captors?
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. I think you have that with raisins.
I think so too, because that's all we were fed when we were growing up. And I should hate them, but I fucking love them.
Byram, the static site generator I'm using is called Hugo. It's a static site engine. I just tweeted the URL for the instructional page.
Oh, cool.
It's like open source. There's a bunch of templates. It's nice. It's good. I didn't have to write CSS or HTML or any of that stuff. I can mostly just plug content in and move a few templates around. And
I would move this upcoming shows thing up top so someone knows exactly where Liz is going to be. Because as a matter of fact, I sent Jen a text message yesterday, a G-chat actually, saying when are Liz's next shows? Because I knew Liz, you were going to a show last night, but I didn't know if you were performing at one. And,
Yeah, I did.
And I told Jen, I was like, we should pick a night that we can both go, and then this is super helpful.
so I'm gonna make that call to action button upcoming shows. So
Yeah.
that'll be the section underneath the picture, and then the first button you'll see will be upcoming shows.
So the way this site is set up, is there a way to get a unique URL for that shows? And is there an anchor tag that you can put in the URL so Liz could put it in her signature, when she emails people?
Yeah, I could do that. It's not set up that way right now, but I mean they're all divs, so I mean I can just put a tag in any of them.
Wow. Bizzle, I just saw your VP show. I finally understand what you do for a living.
No, trust me, this is the bare minimum of what I should be doing, and it's the maximum that I do.
I know. Still, I'm very impressed. I have no idea what you're talking about.
This site is awesome, though.
Yeah, it is really very exciting.
Liz, you should get business cards are so fucking cheap to get made. You should just get a really cool design for one.
Yeah.
Make it a different shape or something too.
Yeah, I want to get round ones. So that you are rooting around in your purse and you're like, oh, is this a condom? No, it's round plastic ones.
Also, make sure you yell at people at the end of your show. LizHallComedy.com. Or your Twitter handle or something.
Okay. My sign off right now is I have been and continue to be Liz Hall. And I'll add on, you can find me at LizHallComedy.com. And on the Coming in Sideways podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Going on our second year.
Wow. So funny. Before we had this conversation, I had vowed to myself that I wasn't going to do shows for 6 months. I want to go to I want to do Rocky in Siberia and just go do fucking tons of open mics and get really, really good and then come back in 6 months and start doing shows again. But now that we're talking about putting that stuff on the website, I feel like I should keep doing shows.
I feel like you got to do shows, right?
Oh, you should 100% do shows. You should do a show anywhere.
But the only shows that I can book right now are these horrifying bullshit bringer shows that are one, I have to get people to go in order to perform. Last night I dragged my roommate, lovely, wonderful friend of the pod, Lindsay Mannering, and lovely, wonderful friend of the pod, Zebulon Holt, and they came to this fucking club in fucking Greenwich Village and paid $11, and then it was a 2-drink minimum, and fucking Lindsay didn't want to drink, and it was late, and it was horrible, and it was so late by the time I got up, and I kind of bombed, and it was just this shitty experience. I don't want to do that anymore. But those are the shows I can do right now because I don't know anybody, and if all my time is taken up by going to those shitty bringer shows, I can't be going to like open mics and like meeting people and like getting to know people and getting invited to be on like sort of more like legit comedy shows. So that's kind of what I wanted to focus on. So I don't know. Maybe I can shorten the timeline on that a little bit. Try and get on better shows sooner.
We need to get someone with, because I think shows are great, but I think you need to start doing other things as well. Like I think that maybe work on, I think the behind the scenes of this podcast on YouTube is kind of like a good foray into like a web series or something like that. But I think that, I've seen people, one of my friends that I used to work with who's actually really successful right now in comedy, she goes out into fucking Union Square. Someone has a camera and she like think of that like Billy on the Street type stuff.
Yeah.
There's no reason you can't do something like that. And you would do so much better.
I want to take an improv class. I also want to start writing. I need to submit something to the Reductress.
Yes.
I have a bit of the beginning of a story about how my arm pube taught me self-acceptance.
I forgot about your arm pube.
Yeah, it's like I think about it all the time. And it's like I'll tell the story about my arm pube and how I think it's like preventing me from finding love. And people will be like, well, why don't you just like pluck your arm pube? And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking change myself. The person that I end up with is going to have to fucking love me and my arm pube.
Have you ever pulled it out?
Yes, it grows back,
And it grows back
way
long?
worse. Way worse.
Oh
I used
my
to clip it with toenail clippers, so that's disgusting. I realized the minute that came out of my mouth, that's disgusting. But it just would like grow in, like stubbly. But yeah.
That's crazy. I had never heard of Tig Notaro until like you guys were talking about it on that group chat, and talking about her. And then I finally watched the HBO. I don't know if it was on HBO. It was on some channel where they like followed her on. She like had tweeted out like, "Hey, if you want me to come to your town, like build an audience and I'll come perform for you." Have you seen that?
No.
She goes on this like road show with her friend, and they just drive around to different cities and they perform in like people's backyards or whatever venues, like because people.
Lost you there for a second, Biz.
Yeah.
Come to your town and perform for you. So I watched that, and then I watched the one that she did that was called like Boyish Girl Interrupted.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch that?
Is that the long documentary, or is that the one on? I think that's the newer one, right? The
It's
one on
the
Netflix.
newer one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't watched that yet. No.
Okay, so what's crazy is she talks about her breast cancer, and then she takes off her shirt and does the whole show topless.
Wow.
And so you
Yeah.
see, like, it was jarring because you see these like where she had her like mastectomy, and she's just up there on stage just doing the whole show topless.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense.
She did have a joke on there that is my pick of the week. She was just like, she goes, I got bilateral breast cancer or whatever, and she's like, I was never quite fond of my breasts. She goes, and I used to like joke about them a lot and how small they were. And she goes, so I'm guessing they heard me, and they said, this bitch, let's kill her. I thought that was funny.
The way she tells her jokes is so fucking good. She's so deadpan. It's like whenever I'm like performing in New York, I'm like, I have to be louder, I have to be more bang bang, like it has to be more flashy. And then I like watch Tig Notaro perform, and I'm like, no, it doesn't need to be that way. You can just talk, and as long as what you say is funny, people will laugh. It doesn't like, yeah, she's awesome.
Deadpan is the best.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't go wrong with deadpan.
Yeah.
Except I laugh at everything I say or do, so I'm like the anti-deadpan. I'm like living bunt cake.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think of like what's the opposite of pan.
Yeah. I'm like,
I don't know why I thought bunt cake.
I'm like,
was the opposite
like
of pan.
cooling rack. I'm all like living cooling rack. Guys.
All right. Well, you guys were trying to figure out what the opposite of deadpan is. I updated the site.
Oh,
No
nice.
way. God damn it, Oak.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. I got mad skills. I automate the shit out of shit.
Oh, this is awesome.
I got scripts and scripts and scripts. I got scripts writing scripts to do my scripts.
Oh, there's like one nerd out in the world laughing at what you're saying right now. I just refreshed
And
my
you
screen.
you can use Liz Hall comedy hashtag shows. We'll get you.
Oh, cool.
One more thing. Is there a way to pull in her tweets?
Yeah. I just have to build a module for it, or I'm sure there's one I can just grab.
Because I think having like a, because Liz, your name on Twitter and Instagram is just Liz Hall 349, right?
Yeah. Should I change that? I was wondering, does it look like janky to have numbers in your handles? I don't know what that even means.
I don't know. I changed mine
I noticed
because
that.
I use mine for work a lot, and
Oh.
it felt like unprofessional to have I mean, because I'm a computer dork,
Right.
so I changed mine to like a computer nerdy sort of handle, _ohall, which, as you all know out there, underscore prefixing a variable name means it's private. Oh,
What?
what?
I think now it just looks like somebody with a googly eye.
Kinda
That's my
squinting at
assessment of it, yeah. Just one eye. I'm excited about this website. I'm excited. You're right, Fizzle, I want to do other projects. Can we go over my comedy premise of the week?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so my comedy premise of the week, it's gonna be really long-winded getting into this, but it's basically about how I don't like smile as much as I think I should, because it's just like that's just how my face is. I have a very serious face. It's just like my natural inclination is not to smile, and I'm nervous about it. One, because I think it makes people like afraid of me, and two, I don't want to get like a downturned mouth when I'm old. I don't want to have like a sad, mad face. And when I used to drive my car, I would be driving to work and I would sit in my car and practice smiling.
Oh my God, I'm taken back to childhood.
I know.
Mom used to do this, and she would be so mad at us, but still smiling, and it was
Still
like,
smiling.
oh my God.
I'm turning into my mother. That's another part of
Turning?
the joke. Yeah, I know, dude. Go fuck yourself. But then the other half of the joke is that I don't really trust people that are like randomly smiling on the street. Like if I see nothing makes me more nervous than anybody that's like smiling just like for no good reason. And so like the punchline of the joke is kind of like I get on the subway and at one end of the subway is someone who's just like smiling to themselves, and the other end of the subway is a guy who has his dick out and he's jerking off. And personally, I would rather go sit next to the dick puller because I don't know what's happening with the person on the other end of the subway. What do we think about the phrase dick puller? I like that.
I kind of
I
like
like
that
that
too.
Okay, cool. All right. So we like that premise better than the premise about race?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
I do. Because I think that is more unique, and it's actually funnier.
Yeah.
And I'm not laughing because you're making a racial joke, and I need to figure out what do I do here that's gonna make me seem the least racist? Is laughing at this joke gonna make me seem comfortable so I'm not racist, or should I be offended, or I don't know, so I'm just gonna laugh. But that premise is just funny because sitting next to a dude who's jerking off on the subway, it's just funny.
Like, I really think I would make that decision. If somebody was like sitting politely on the subway, just like smiling to themselves, I'm like, that person's gonna blow something up, like 100%.
Right.
I don't know. That person definitely just ate somebody else, and they're really happy about it. Like the cat that ate the canary, but that is the person who ate the person.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, whenever you walk towards someone who's like smiling, or even someone who's laughing, like they have their headphones plugged in, so the natural assumption is they just listen to something funny.
Yeah.
But I always think like, what is wrong with me? What did I do?
Yeah, John, like, why are you
You're
laughing
laughing at me.
Right. I always like look down and like I'm like, oh my god, do I have pants on?
Yeah.
Cool.
So my shut the fuck up this week is, I keep coming across people who ask me, who want to learn a programming language, right? And I think it's an example, like in life in general, that people want to learn how to do something before they do it. and they want to read books or take classes or do all these things to learn a thing before they do it. And the only thing I ever tell people is stop doing that and just do the thing. Just start programming and you'll learn that way. Just, if you want to do comedy, just get up and do it. If you want to do anything in life, you want to play a sport, just go play it. Like, don't learn how to do it first. Like, just shut the fuck up with your fussiness and do it. The only way to learn how to do something is to start today. So that's my advice to you people who want to learn how to do things. Just go do it. Just shut the fuck up and go start.
Yep.
That said, I'm gonna start Ruby on Rails in about 5 minutes.
Right.
That's the sexiest programming language. Whenever anyone's like, "Oh, do you know Ruby on Rails?" You just think of like this crazy chick doing like lines of
A
code.
transvestite on blow.
Yeah.
Weird. I thought about a stripper on like train tracks. That's, I guess, I'm a little bit more. I picture like coming out on stage, like just like straight out onto the stage, but her feet are on rails. He's wearing all red.
A stripper on train tracks is going to be the name of your first HBO special.
Absolutely. All right, guys, shut the fuck up. Just start doing it.
Well, that's actually good advice because I always think about how much I wish I knew how to do like Photoshop, and anyone you talk to that's really good at Photoshop taught themselves. They just like get the program and play around on it,
Yeah.
Well, it's like basically like the way I ever learn anything is like, so you want to make a thing, right? Like you want to make a website or you edit a picture to look like something. Well, so you start with this thing that you want to do, and then you figure out like piece by piece how to do it.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you learned a bunch of shit, and then you know things. But like if I try to read a book about something before I've started working on it, the words don't mean anything. Like I don't absorb any of it because I don't have any context. I don't know when any of it. None of it means anything.
Yeah, you're so right about that.
That was true. When you sent me that article about programming or something like that, I was like, I don't know what any of this stuff means, and I zoned out completely. It was like, I wish I had a computer in front of me so I could like start doing this stuff so I could like understand what it
Right, like you can't get any like grip on it. There's no like you can't get any purchase because you can't imagine what any of it means because it's
a different language. Like the words that are used are a different language than the language that I currently communicate.
I think that the notion, it's called the signal to noise ratio, right? So like it's all noise to you. Like there's no signal in there because you're not parsing any of the words, and you don't have any context. There's no like like if you were like from Central Africa and you'd never seen a Walmart and somebody handed you a book that was describing a Walmart, it wouldn't make any sense to you.
Right, because you wouldn't understand any of the words in the book. Interesting.
It reminds me of when you're in high school and you're learning another language and the teacher's like, "Oh, well, watch TV and watch Spanish TV and take notes on what you watch." And I would like never do it because I'm like, I'm not ready to do that. I have to like learn more from this book. But it's actually better to kind of just watch the show and pick up on it.
Right.
Or if you're in America, just go anywhere and hear Spanish.
Right. The poor guys that I work with all Mexican dudes, and every once in a while I'll just like bust out. Like I took a whole bunch of Spanish in high school. I took it all the way through like college, and every once in a while I'll bust out like, oh, it's paragraph in like perfect Spanish, and they'll be like, wow, that was awesome, and I'm like, I don't know what just happened. I can't say that anymore. Like I can't, and then I'll be like, the whole rest of the day I'll be like, oh, Carlos, yo necesito uno hamburger. I hate you.
Just say it slower and louder in English.
Exactly. Right, with like a pained look on your face. And he's like, and then he, of course, responds in perfect English because he's a genius. But I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Before you go to work, they speak in like Shakespearean English.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Before you go to work today, you might want to Google the Spanish translation for dick puller so that you can speak to them.
Yeah. I want to have a character on something named Dick Puller. He's like a guidance counselor. We had a guidance counselor in middle school named Dick Payne.
Dick Payne? No.
Dick Payne, yes. Oh, remember it? There was a guy named Dick Payne.
That's crazy.
Like, we did not make nearly enough jokes about that. We were not as funny as we should have been in middle school.
if you have a name like that, first of all, your parents, shame on your parents. But second of all, don't work at a school because you've gone through years of education where you were tormented about
But
it. You know?
where would be better? Like the police force? Like no, Officer Dick Payne. Like, I don't think there's any better place because like kids don't get it. You have to like be around kids. What do you work at a startup? No, you're fucked. You're fucked anyway.
I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram yesterday, the woman who works downstairs at Dean and DeLuca, her name is Anna Ling, but it's one word, so it just looks like analing.
Oh yeah, I couldn't like put them together.
I wish you didn't have a job where you wore a name tag. Like,
Yeah, totally.
And if they ask you what your name, like no one is ever going to go up to you and need to know your full name. So just
Right.
put Anna up there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Just put Lang. I like Lang.
Ling, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the Swedish anal spa.
Yes, Polish anal spot.
Polish anal spa, right?
Right. So
It
funny.
was actually called Polish Anal Spa.
Well, I believe it was called Polish, a nail spa.
Yes.
But
Oh.
it just said Polish anal spa.
I know. Look at us throwing stones about poorly named organizations, and the name of this podcast is Coming Inside Ways. Yeah, cool.
Whenever I tell people about our podcast, they always like laugh thinking I'm joking. I'm like, no, really, it's
No,
coming
that's
sideways.
literally what it's called. Yeah. Not changing it now.
Good shit.
We've gone too deep.
Yeah,
to
we
change
got
it.
too deep.
All right, kids, I got to punch in at the office.
All right.
Good pod.
Good
All right,
pod.
good pod.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Ciao.
See you
Peace.
next week. Bye.
Laters.